After saying that boxing needed a Saudi to save the sport, look how the tables have turned, as it was reported by Ring Magazine that UFC owner Dana White and His Excellency Prince Turki Al Sheikh are planning to create their own boxing promotion and co-promote alongside business executive Nick Khan. As usual, I'll be handing this over to my co-hosts. Now, let's talk boxing.
Big news coming out of the boxing world today as Turki Al Sheikh has now partnered with Nick Khan and Dana White to make their own proper boxing league. Of course, you guys already know who Dana White is, a successful promoter for the UFC, but Nick Khan, many people don't know. As we know, he is the promoter of TKO, which is the mother of the WWE and the UFC. They want to make a big boxing league and basically only have one belt in each weight division. Now, many think this is a very good thing, but there's also some cons to it that we will be breaking down.
Now, this is probably the biggest news that we've heard in the past 40 years of boxing history, because we're finally going to get one single champion for any weight class. That's probably the best thing about this type of news.
No, definitely. But we also got to think of how are people going to get paid. Now, we know Turki Al Sheikh is a machine when it comes to paying people. But does this also mean he's going to stop working with promoters like Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya and Top Rank and all those guys? Who knows? But in all reality, I feel like this would take a very long time to be successful. They're going to have to take it from the ground all the way up. Meaning, we're not going to see faces like Canelo Alvarez or Gervonta Davis or
the old
Usyk
generation.
or Terrence Crawford. We're not going to see none of those guys. We're going to have to see the younger generation, the people that are coming out of the Olympics, the amateurs that do very successful. And maybe those are the guys that they're going to be looking out to get put on contracts. And, the only downside of this is the fact that obviously they'd be a big promotional company, but that means they wouldn't cross-promote. Meaning, when you look at UFC and Bellator, they never have their fighters, in a mega fight. It's always just you fight here or you fight there. And this division, it would just be only one champion and one belt in each weight division, meaning they're not going to co-promote with any other promoter. So this is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because we already know social media takes over nowadays. We have people like Ryan Garcia. In all reality, you don't even need a promoter for someone like him. He promotes himself well on, Instagram or any social media. So my thing is how are they going to get those younger generation of people to come in over here and really want to strive to be the best, to arguably be the undisputed champion of the world?
Now, that's the type of sacrifice we're going to have to make. We're going to have to sacrifice the old guard. We're going to have to sacrifice the old generation of boxers. For this type of event, you're going to have to start from the ground up, and I don't think this is going to pay off until decades from now, where we're going to actually see who is the real GOAT. Muhammad Ali, Lennox Lewis, these guys are all-time greats, but we're finally going to see who really is the true GOAT.
And they basically want to copy a page off the UFC, which we know the UFC is very successful. When we really look at the history, we know that boxing's been around longer than the WWE and the UFC combined. So that's going to be another hard thing for them to get past. It's going to be hard to surpass, the history of boxing. Who isn't going to want to see the champion hold that shiny green WBC belt or lineal championship? It's just iconic. Even someone like Rocky Balboa in the movie has the belts. We're going to have to be used to, seeing a new belt coming from that boxing league. It's going to definitely take some getting used to. I feel like all the older heads in boxing, are going to have to really take time to get adjusted and, see the best versus the best in order to feel like we understand and we like this new promotion.
No, the great thing about this is that this is how boxing evolves. We're actually finally going to see guys defending their belts against the real mandatories. We're not going to have guys like Canelo ducking Benavidez. We're going to get the fights that we want, the fights that the boxing fans deserve.
The only issue with this is, are the younger generation, knowing that we're already so attached to social media, are they going to want to choose the high road where they want to show everybody that they're the main champion, the reigning champion?
Yeah.
Or do they want to go the money route where they could possibly cherry pick, where they could take their time and, getting their, adjustments and learning their style? Because we know the UFC, you get a contract in at your fifth fight, and by your seventh, eighth fight, you're already fighting a high contender, which is a good thing, but it's also going to hold a lot of people back from really, being able to take their time in order to be the best fighter they can be. Another thing I will say is, coming with boxing, and we remember all the great fighters like Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson and all these guys, how much will they really be remembered? the fact that they're going to be fighting the best people, they're not going to have long reigns when you think about it.
Yeah.
They're always going to constantly be fighting the best person back to back to back. And that just means that, they're going to be less champions holding the belt for a while instead of, having a long period of, someone like Sugar Ray Robinson who held the belt for plenty of years. It's going to be very difficult to hold that belt.
And that's the beauty of this, is that we're finally going to see guys coming up.
No, definitely. And I think the best way to, start this, I think they have a good ground game. I feel like they got a good game plan because they already have a three-headed monster in Dana White, Turki Al Sheikh, and Nick Khan. For those who don't know, Nick Khan's going to be behind the scenes, dealing with the biggest brands and the biggest promotions out there, getting people like ESPN, Peacock, Netflix involved. He can control all that. Of course, we have Turki Al Sheikh. He brings in all the money. Nobody even knows the guy's net worth. This guy could bring millions and trillions of dollars. And then, of course, Dana White, a guy that's really stand outside of the promotion, a guy that is known even without mentioning the UFC behind him. He's a great promoter. So they already got the ground game for it. We just got to see how long is it going to really take, and will the boxing fans really allow this, to really become its own league? That's the biggest question for me. We're already seeing a new era. Just the fact that when Turkey and Saudi, came in the picture, we're already seeing the best fight the best. I think that's what boxing stands for. And I'm just glad that we're going to move towards that direction. And possibly the old promoters are going to start getting back on their A game so this new promotion doesn't take over. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But let us know what you guys think down below. Do you guys prefer old boxing, or are you guys all for this TKO brand new league, starring Dana White, Turki Al Sheikh, and Nick Khan? Let us know down in the comments below. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. My name's Eric.
And I'm Alex.
And I'm your boy, Mac. Thank you guys once again for tuning into the Pound for Pound Boxing channel. Please make sure to go like, share, and subscribe, and we're out.